Hey guys, what's up? I hope y'all are having a really good day, night, afternoon, morning, whatever. So, for this week's video, I wanted to switch it up a little bit. I wanted to get on here and hold up one sec. I'm getting a phone call. Sorry. Sorry. Anyways, I wanted to sit down here and I wanted to film a different type of video for you guys. So y'all know me, I like to make certain type of videos. I like to make videos that are, fun. I like to make interactive videos with you guys. I love to make like videos that revolve around fun little challenges, fun little whatever. I just like making fun videos, and I really do like to promote positivity because I want to be a channel where don't mind her. Anyways, I always make videos where I'm doing something like interactive with you guys, challenges. And I thought for this week's video, I would change it up a little bit, and I would give you guys just a sit down video of me, just my raw emotions, how I'm feeling right now, which by the way, I'm probably not gonna edit this video. Maybe I'll edit, some background music here and there, or maybe I'll just keep background music for the duration of the video. But for the most part, I want these videos to be just raw and no cuts, because y'all know my type of videos, they have like a lot of cuts in them, and they only have cuts in them because I don't like to include my stuttering. I don't like to include my breath intakes. I don't like to include certain words when I mess up. And I bet this is like the first time, other than a live stream, you hearing me just talk with no cuts, no spazzing or whatever. But anyways, so I'm just gonna try this out for a bit. If I like it, and if you guys like it, I'll probably do more in the future. But this is a test run for today. So these type of videos, I want y'all to like wind down. I want you guys to relax. Maybe get something to eat. Maybe you're on the premiere right now and talking with me on the YouTube chat. But yeah, I just want you guys to just wind down and let's just have a talk together. Okay, so I have a couple of topics that I want to talk about today, and I'm just gonna go through them because I have them on my computer right now, which is why I'm looking down. And yeah, I just want these videos to be like podcast based, even though I'm not really an official podcaster, but I still want them to feel like podcasts. And if there's background stuff, don't mind that. I have family here. Anyways, so the first thing that I have on my list is talking about, back to school season and my experience in high school and how I feel about starting college. So yes, it is back to school season. Y'all already know. Y'all probably are watching this. Either you're watching it after school or during school. But it is back to school season. And I hope you guys are ready for the new year. Some of y'all have been telling me y'all are about to be high schoolers. Y'all are about to be 8th graders, 5th graders, a whole variety of ages. But I want to talk to you guys and give y'all a little whole breakdown about my experience in high school. And I just want to tell y'all, like from freshman year all the way to senior year, how everything was, how I was feeling, what my mood was of graduating, the classes that I took. And yeah, all right. So my freshman year of high school, you already know I played football for only that year. And if you don't know that, it's probably because you didn't see my I Quit Football After Only 1 Year video, which, by the way, you should go watch that because I give you guys a glimpse of why I started football and why I had quit football. So y'all already know that when I was a freshman, I played football, and I played football only for freshman year. And I just want to give y'all like the full-on experience playing football because I feel like I never really explained it perfectly in that video. I just told y'all I played football and then I quit and I tried to go back. I want to tell y'all what it was like playing football because I know some of y'all are going to be playing sports in high school. So I'm telling y'all what my experience was like and how scheduling was playing football. So when I played football in my freshman year of high school, I'm going to tell y'all what I had to do first. So if you are an incoming freshman and you're playing a fall sport, you probably would be going to summer workouts, and that's what I had did. I went to summer workouts from June to obviously when school started. And in the beginning of June, when we started doing the football practices, bro, I was very scared. I was scared because I was playing a new sport. I was scared because I was going to a new school where I didn't know anybody. None of them came from my other school, which, by the way, y'all, if y'all don't know this already, my other school was 6th through 12th grade, so I could have stayed at my other school, but I switched schools just to play football, and I didn't really like the school that I was going to. I felt like I could have gotten a better education, and I did. So I ended up switching schools after my 8th grade year, and I'm going to tell y'all the first day of my football practice, my first ever day of football. So my first day of football, I remember the exact day. I don't remember. It was around June 6th, I believe. It was June 6th, and I remember I think I was wearing a black t-shirt, and I was wearing black shorts, and I was wearing my black Converse Chucks that were all the way black. And I remember having my backpack. I remember being really scared because, like I said, this was a new school, new people. I'm playing a sport that I have never played a day in my life, and these people played in grade school. Some were trying it out, but most of them played in grade school. Most of them went to school with each other, and I was just the new kid. I was so nervous, guys, because if you've ever been in a situation where you're the new kid, you understand how nerve-wracking it is to go to a situation where you're the only new kid. I was like one out of the few new kids that didn't go to school with anybody my freshman year. So anyways, the first day of football, I remember I had got to school, and like I think it was my dad was driving me. I was really scared, but I was also excited because what made me want to play football was, I don't know if y'all know this movie, but it's called The Blind Side, and basically it's about this famous NFL player who was homeless around the time, and a family adopted him, and he started to play football in high school, and he eventually got so good that he ended up playing in a D1 college, then eventually getting signed on to the NFL. It's a good movie, in my opinion. I think y'all should go see it. It's with Sandra Bullock, by the way, if you know who she is. Anyways, so my dad had showed me the movie The Blind Side in February when I was an 8th grader, and I had done some conditioning for another team, but that was only to, start my weight loss journey. I think I've told y'all this multiple times. I did a football conditioning for a separate team in February, and I went a month without going. I didn't tell y'all that, but I went in February. Then I had missed a month. I don't know why. We just didn't really go. And then March we went back. April we went. And May we went. And May was like around the time when I was like really starting to fall in love with the team, and I told my mom, I was like, Mom, can I stay? And she told me that if I would have stayed, I would have had to go back to my other school. And I was like, no, I don't want to stay on this team. So that's what made me go to my school that I went for 9th through 12th. So anyways, when I was in my summer football team, well, not summer football team, when I went to the summer workouts for my football team, I had already met one coach. I had met one coach in around February of 2021, because I had went to my school to do my scheduling for my classes, and I had met one of my teachers there too. So I met the coach and one of my future teachers. Anyways, so when I went there, I was scared, but I had known one of the coaches. But I remember I went there. I didn't know where I was going, so my dad asked the coaches, because there was coaches walking to the tunnel. Y'all know the tunnel. My school has a tunnel that connects to the school, because my school is not big. It's pretty small. It's a decent size. So my field is connected to the school, and there's a tunnel. And so as they were going near the field, my dad stops them and tells them that I'm new, I don't know what I'm doing, and then they guide me into the locker room. And then that's when I had met the seniors around the time. They greeted me. They was like, what's up? What's your name? How are you? Like, the usual. So when I got there, I was in the locker room, because I had gotten there pretty early, and I'm glad that I got dropped off pretty early, because if I would have went there late, I would have been immediately embarrassed, because I hate being late to stuff. And I would definitely hate to be late to something that I don't know anything about. So I remember I was coming out of the locker room, and it was around the time we were supposed to start the workouts. So as I'm coming out the locker room, we have two gyms. We have a small gym and a main gym. And then there's the weight room next to the gym. So as I came out I went near the hallway where there's the small gym and then the weight room right next to it, and I was retying my shoe, I believe. And then as I was retying my shoe, I'm a bigger guy, so obviously I'm with the linemen were walking they were walking somewhere, and I didn't know where I was going. And let me tell y'all, I was like so confused the first day. So the reason why I'm telling y'all this is because I know that a lot of y'all are probably really scared about getting lost in high school. But y'all have to understand that you guys are coming into a new environment. Y'all have never been in high school before. So it's okay to get lost. If you don't know your way around, it's okay to ask. But anyways, my first summer workout was great. Everyone was nice. Everyone treated me well. And then after a while, I started to really bond with the team. We all started to really have a good connection. I felt like we were all a team. I feel like we were a really good team. Even if we didn't win all the time, even if our team wasn't the best in the area, because I remember, y'all, we would be on the field, and then there would be because our school was near downtown, so we would literally be chilling on the field, like, practicing, and then there would be cars rolling by saying that our school sucks, and it was crazy. But anyways, so like I said before, we were a really good team. We all got along pretty well, in my opinion. I mean, they liked me so much. Even though I didn't know how to play, I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I literally was so ignorant of football. I didn't know anything about that sport. Like, when we would be in the games, I would literally have to ask a buddy. I would be like, what was that? Why did he put a flag down on that? What's going on? I would have to literally do that. But anyways, back to what I was saying. Y'all have ADHD, so if I spiral and go from one topic to another, just know that I have ADHD. So anyways, back to what I was saying. I'm going to tell y'all a very embarrassing story about football, all right? Because this is when I started to become, I guess, liked by the team. So when I was coming to practice, this is one particular day. And I think it was a summer workout. I don't remember if it was a summer workout or it was closer to the school, workouts. I was running late, and purposely I would run late because I hated when we would have to do dynamics. And dynamics was like our stretch workouts where we would just we would be in a line, and then we would like run, go to the other side of the field. Like I remember we would do jumping jacks, and we would literally have to go across the field doing jumping jacks. I hated doing those. So I was running late on purpose. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I was running late on purpose. I was getting my clothes on. And this was around the time when we were fully padded. I had my pads, I had my pants, and my belt. And this was a particular day where I had gotten my belt because prior I had no belt and my pants were literally sagging down. So literally my team was really like make fun of me because of that, but it was like in a joking manner. Anyways, so as my pants are coming down, I'm trying to put my belt up and I'm trying to hurry up, and I'm in the tunnel. I already have my pads on, I already have my helmet on, I already have my cleats on, right? So I'm really late. So I'm trying to hurry up, fix my clothes because I don't want to go out there looking sloppy. I try to hurry up, fix my clothes, and then as I'm going out there, because my coach is like getting on me, he's like, "Get out there." They used to call me Blakely. Blakely, get out there. So as I was getting out there, they're doing the dynamics, and then I run down there. My belt comes off. And so when my belt comes off, my coach says, "Where is your belt?" He literally yells it to the whole freaking field can hear it. And then like everybody just stops doing what they're doing. They look in my direction and they all start laughing. All the coaches, all the players, they all start laughing, and I start laughing too because I was kind of embarrassed, but then again, it was my fault because I was running late on purpose and I shouldn't have been doing that. So after we're all done laughing, I go to there's like a bathroom outside near the field. I go to the bathroom and then I fix my belt because this belt was giving me problems and they would not keep my pants up. They were giving me big problems. So after that, that's when like it became a joke. And they would be like, "Blakely, where's your belt? Do you have a belt?" Like, that was the running joke on our team, that I was the dude who lost their belt while we were running dynamics. So that was funny. And honestly, that was probably like one of the best moments of football. It was the bond that we had. Because I'm telling y'all now, I don't care for sports. I never was that type of guy. And to be honest with y'all, if I ever did play sports, I probably would only play basketball and maybe bowling. So, anyways, I did like playing football, but I only liked playing it for the team. I only liked being there because of the team, because they really did like my energy. They thought I was a cool dude. And they would cheer me on even if I wasn't the best. And that's what I really liked about the team, is that they didn't care if I was the best or not. They just liked me being there. So I really did appreciate that. But I just didn't see my heart playing football. So after that year, I ended up just quitting. And also my coach, I think, either resigned or got fired. I think he resigned because there was just complaints of him just not being a good coach. And not gonna lie, we didn't win games as much. I don't remember what our overall was. Wait, I think I can look it up right now. One sec. Let me look it up. I'm gonna look it up on Max Preps, okay? Okay, let me see. Okay, we're gonna go to football. No, not flag football. Well, I mean, I guess that counts. We're gonna go to the year. Oh, I can't. Let me go to the page. Oh, it won't let me go that. Okay, schedule. Let me see. Oh, it won't let me go anywhere. Oh, wait, this is flag football. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to figure out if I can find my overall for my freshman year. It says flag football. Oh, here's regular football. Anyways, okay, let me go to the... Okay, we're going to go to fall 2021, 2022. So our overall was 4-8. With that coach, our overall was 4 wins, 8 losses. And that was my varsity team. I don't know what it was for JV. I don't even know if you can see JV. Let me see. Okay, let's go to. So for JV, oh, it won't even pop up. Anyways, so that's why our coach started to. I think he had a bad image on him because he was known for not doing the best coaching. So he ended up leaving and he ended up resigning, I believe. I don't remember, but I do remember getting an email. But anyways, let me tell y'all about freshman year. That's just the football aspect of it, because I'm going to tell y'all freshman year wasn't horrible, but I'm going to tell y'all like my really initial feelings of freshman year. Okay, so y'all know that, or y'all should know, but I was playing football, obviously, and I also did this other program called Jumpstart, okay? And Jumpstart is like this summer school program where kids from the college that we, I lived in a college city at the time, where they would come and they would teach us, math, science, reading, and I believe a little bit of English. I don't remember if it was English, but I remember it being math, science, and reading. Those were the top 3 that I remember. So they did this for about 2 weeks, and I had met some of the people there, some of which who stayed, some of which who left. And I remember there was this one particular guy who I never saw a day in my life when we started school. He was there, but I never saw him in the hallways. I never saw him in classes. So I'm really starting to think that he had transferred the last minute, but that's just my theory. Anyway, so when I had started Jumpstart, I had met some of the people, and I'm glad that I was put into that program because it helped me not be so nervous to meet new people, because I was going to attend high school with these people that I was in Jumpstart in. These were all freshmen. They're all coming into a new situation like me, but all of them new people from other schools, I believe. Anyways, so I did the Jumpstart program, and this was in late July, mid to late July. So I did the Jumpstart program. It was good. I ended up becoming friends with some of the people, and I was fine. So then when school starts, let me tell you about my first day of school. Okay, so my first day of school, right? It was an orientation day, and my school has 2 orientation days. So Monday would be like a half a day, depending on who it would be. So would Tuesday. So they would be half a days. So I remember it would be like freshman, sophomore would go to these classes from like 8 to 11, or no, 8 to 2 or 11. I don't remember the exact time. And then juniors and seniors would stay the whole day, because I would be at the school from 8:15 to 3:15. So I would have half a days for my first day of orientation. So, because orientations were official school days where we got to meet all of our teachers, where we got our syllabuses, because I went to a college prep school and you get syllabuses when you're in college. That's what we did. And I just remember I was really nervous, guys. But I wasn't as nervous because like I said, I was playing football and I did Jumpstart. So I wasn't as nervous, but then again, I was still pretty nervous because I was getting in a situation where I'm in a new environment. I haven't been in a new environment since around the time 7th grade. So when I went to school the first day, I just noticed a shift in the interactions. And what I mean by a shift, I meant like people didn't really give me the same energy that I was getting at football, or the energy that I was getting when I was when I was at Jumpstart. And I was really confused because I thought we were all friends. Mind you, this is 14-year-old me. I was always so self-conscious about being alone. I didn't want to be alone. I wanted to have friends. In every class that I had, I had a fear of being lonely and being alone. So I pride myself in making friends, and I thought these people were my friends until I realized that the minute that they're with their buddies or everybody else, they could care less about you. And so I had noticed that on the first day of school, excuse me, And I was so confused, guys, because I thought we were friends and I had thought we were going to be really good friends. Don't judge me. I was 14 with a little naive brain. My brain is not how it is 4 years later at 18. So, like I said, I was naive and I didn't understand why they weren't talking to me as much and why they weren't saying anything to me. And that was the first day. So, I'm going to tell y'all what happened that whole day. So, the first day comes and I go to the hallway because I think it was the first day for I don't know if it was the first day for freshmen because we had a separate orientation for freshmen, but I do remember that I went to the freshman orientation, but I think that was a week before the real orientation for everybody started. But anyways, so the first day I went in the hallway and I was talking to some of my football teammates and I just realized that I wasn't really getting the same energy like I said before. So when I go into the gym, we have this program called Peer Mentors, and basically it's where these seniors, which I think they updated now to juniors and seniors, they help you relieve your nerves of being a high schooler. They help you with questions you have about school, your computer. They're just there just in case you have a question about school and you're too afraid to, go to a teacher or something. So I had met my peer mentors. They were the best. Bro, I'm telling y'all, they were the best peer mentors ever. Like, they were so kind. They were so helpful. They helped me be a lot more social. I was able to talk to them easily. They were helping us with, school stuff. I was really comfortable around them. I didn't feel shy not one bit around those people. And I will always remember the class of 22 being such a good class to me. And so I remember it was, I believe, I don't know if it was the first day or second day. I'm sorry, y'all, if I'm not good at telling stories. But I do remember it was an orientation day. I don't know if it was the first or second day. And at my school, we had a thing called white days and blue days, which is a block schedule where you would go to a certain amount of classes on white days and a certain amount of classes on blue days. And so my peer mentors were in my study hall period, what we called flex. I don't know why we called it flex, but that's what we called it, my study hall period. And I had met my study hall teacher, who was also my Spanish 1 teacher. And I just remember chilling in there. And then as I'm walking out, because we were going somewhere, I believe we were going to the gym, or we were going, I don't remember where we were going, but we were just getting a tour around the school. And then someone was just screaming, "Happy birthday, Duran." And y'all know my birthday is not in August. My birthday is in February 6th. So I was really confused on why someone was screaming that, because it was not my birthday. I was still 14. I had turned 14 in February. My birthday is not in August. Why are you saying happy birthday to me? And so that's when they all started to sing happy birthday in the hallways, and then tell teachers it was my birthday, then tell other students it was my birthday. So then it became a trend that it was my birthday. And that was like another thing that was memorable about my freshman year. It was that. And so after, getting a little settled down, after quitting football, after football season was over, I wasn't really involved in clubs because around the time I wanted to do clubs, I had to do football. So football really affected my schedule. I couldn't do any more clubs because football, I had either to be at football practice or I had a game. And let me tell y'all my schedule for football during school. So Monday, I would have to go to study tables, and study tables is where we would do our work, and we would have about an hour to do our work, which is crazy because we didn't really do our work. We just chilled out. And having 7 classes and only an hour to do all 7 homework assignments, not as much work. But anyways, we would go to study tables, and then after study tables, we would go to the locker room and change into our pads and clothes, pads, pants, cleats. Then we would have practice from, I think, 4:30 to 6:30. No, 4:30 to 7:30, I believe. It was from 4:30 to 7 something. I remember going home pretty late. So then that would be my schedule: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday we had this thing called pasta dinner, and we would only wear our pads, and then a lot of guys would wear shorts. Well, this was in summer before it got too cold, so we would wear shorts or pants, and then we would just sit down and we would just discuss who we were playing the next day. Well, the varsity team was playing, and then we would go upstairs, and then the parents would feed us our pasta dinners. And I remember I would get my pasta dinner really late, guys. I wouldn't get it till towards the end of practice. I would literally get my pasta dinner, and then everybody would start leaving. And, I was only a freshman around the time, so they would let seniors go first. And then this was this was a week after the previous game. We would acknowledge people who did the best during the games. And I remember I would get a lot of pasta dinner. Then they would have desserts like cupcakes, cookies. It was good. It was good. So then Friday, if we had an away game, we would go to mass because, this is a Catholic school. We would go to mass. Then we would go to the cafeteria and we would get our food. Sometimes we would get Chick-fil-A. Sometimes we would get Subway. And we would eat that, chill out for a bit. We would have to be at the field by 7 o'clock. So we would leave at around 4:30 to 5. We would get there because some of the games weren't far. And it wasn't a far drive. So we would get there. We would warm up. Then we would discuss plays and stuff. And then kickoff was always at 7. Kickoff was at 7 o'clock. So then from that point on, we would be at the game from 7 to 9, 7 to 10. And guys, I sometimes wouldn't get home till almost 12 o'clock at night. And it was a hassle because I was on JV too. So I would have to literally go to the Friday night games, then go home, get some sleep. And if it was an away game, I would have to be up at 7 o'clock, be ready by 8, go to the school, maybe drive to the game by 8:30, be there by 9, and then kickoff would be at 10 a.m. So it was a hassle playing football. I had to be up and ready early in the morning, and then after that, I would go on with my weekend. After football, I would go on with my weekend. I would go home and then chill out. So that's what I did for August, September, October, and then a little bit of November. Well, not November. I did it for August, September, and October. November was when sectionals started. So sectionals is the portion of the season where you are on the road to state. So then there's sectionals, there's semi-sectionals, and there's sectional championships. Then there's semi-state, and then state, I believe. I believe that's how it goes. And I hope I'm right because honestly, I don't know. So after that, we didn't win sectional championship. We won semi-sectionals, and then we had lost sectional championship, and the team was really good. We played them in the regular season, and then they beat us by over 30 points, and we had no points on the board. But this time we only had 3 points. And some of those players went on to be professional athletes in colleges, I believe. But anyways, I remember the last game that I had ever been on the team as. So it was cold. It was rainy. This was November, guys. So it's obviously during fall. And, November, it's dark. It's cold. It's rainy, snowy a little bit. And I just remember wanting to go home because I was freezing cold. I was sick a few weeks prior. And this was around the time where if I had any symptoms of COVID, I would have to quarantine at home. Well, not quarantine at home, but I couldn't come back because I would have, symptoms of corona, and I would have to be out of school for a few days. So I was already recovering from that, and it was freezing. And then I remember when that final point was scored and then the timer ran out, everybody just starts crying, especially the seniors, because think about it, guys, that's their last game as a high schooler. That's their last game playing as a team. So I understand why they were emotional. And then even some of the people in my grade were emotional too. Everybody was emotional, and I was just I was hugging some of the teammates because some of them I was really good friends with. And then, yeah, and then I remember I didn't get home until almost 1 o'clock in the morning that night because when we had went to the game, it was like a 40-minute drive, and then we drove back. The bus driver drove us back to the school, and we went to the gym, and we were just reflecting, and then the coaches were saying thank you to the seniors, just a whole reevaluating their high school, you know, football journey, and then I remember after all that, I went to the locker room, changed out of my pads and got into my clothes. And then I just remember hearing all the seniors just saying, oh, remember when we did this freshman year? Remember when this happened freshman year? Remember when this happened like sophomore year, junior year? Like just remembering all of that. And then I'm just thinking, if I'm still playing football as a senior, I'm going to be that senior being like, remember when I did this? Remember when he did that? And it was a sad night. But I wasn't too sad because I didn't really like football because I was going to quit after my last game. And my last game was in October. So, anyways. So, after that night, we all just reflected on, the football. And that was officially the end of my football season. It was over. And then, the seniors are like giving us advice saying you need to hit the weight room if you want to get better, blah, 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 blah. And then after that, that was it. Now I'm going to tell y'all like my high school experience as a freshman. Now I really enjoyed my freshman year, but I remember there was a brief period where I didn't enjoy my freshman year. I remember I got detention for liking a post about one of the student helpers, which I didn't know about. I remember I was in my computer science class, right? And so the assistant principal comes in and says he needs to see me. And so me not thinking of it, I'm really confused. I'm like, why is he calling me? I haven't done anything wrong. So he calls me and then he brings me into his office and then he's talking about this very, very bad Instagram page that was called, it was the T page. Like y'all know, if you've been in high school, a high school has a T page where they spill tea about people at the school. And so I was on it. I had known about this for a couple of weeks now, or maybe a week or two. I don't remember. But I remember knowing about it for a minute. And then I didn't know I had liked the post because I had saw people posting about it. And I saw it on my recommended because some people that I was following were on the page. They followed the page. So when I had saw that, I didn't know I liked the... I'm being so for real, guys. I did not know because I had clicked on the post. And sometimes when you click on the Instagram post, it automatically likes it. I guess that's what I did, but I didn't know that I did that. So when he had called me into the office, I was confused because I didn't understand that it was about that until he had told me about it. And so he's searching through the likes and he sees my Instagram on there and I liked it. And so I was confused. I'm like, I didn't know I liked it. And so I go to my locker to get my phone, but I had my phone in my pocket because we weren't supposed to have our phones on us. We were supposed to keep them in our lockers. So as I'm coming back to the office, because my locker was on the other side of the hallway, he says that you unfollowed the post, which he meant unliked. And then he gave me a detention. And I'm not just thinking about it. I feel like he only gave me the detention because I was trying to cover it up as if I didn't do it. So if I would have explained to him why I was confused, he probably wouldn't have given me the detention. So I was mad, and then I had said I wanted to transfer schools. I know it was petty. But anyways, I was really mad about that. So I had to serve detention for an hour. It was aggravating. It wasn't even the same day. It was another day. I don't know why my school did that. So anyways, after I had served the detention, school wasn't bad. It honestly wasn't horrible. I don't really think anything bad of it, but I just remember feeling kind of isolated. And I'm going to be honest with y'all. I went to a predominantly white school, And around this time, I was a freshman. I was like one out of the odd black kids in the class. I would sometimes be the only black kid in the class, or I'd be like one out of the few black people in the classes. And I would really kind of feel some type of way about that because sometimes I do feel like I just feel like a little bit of an uncomfortable feeling when I'm the only black person in a classroom. And I don't know, I just didn't really like the fact that I was the only black kid in the class. And it just got to a point where I just felt a little uncomfortable because, I'm going to a Catholic, private, predominantly white school run by white people. So I'm just trying to prepare myself to endure racism because, once you're a black kid in a predominantly white institution, you're probably going to encounter some sort of racism. Anyways, so I was nervous about that. And me and my friend, we went to school together. We had known each other since seventh grade. We had made up this plan to go to a public school together because we both didn't like our schools. And she was still going to the 6th through 12th school. So we made a plan to go to that school. Not that school, another school. And I was just coming up with some sob story to my mom. And I'm like, I don't really feel comfortable anymore. I don't want to go to this school. And then, like, after that, this was probably a sign from God, y'all. I get a article about the school being shut down on lockdown for like a gun, someone having a gun in the school. So I don't know if that was a sign from God to not go to that school, but I didn't end up attending that school, and I ended up staying, obviously, at the school that I went to for the rest of my high school years. So, and then my friend ended up moving away anyways, and then that school ended up shutting down. So, freshman year, I did feel a little alone because once I said I was the only black kid in classes majority of the time, or one of the selected few, and it just felt awkward being like the only one of color because you're so noticeable. You don't blend in with the crowd. And I don't want to be the one who always sticks out of everybody all the time. Sometimes I just want to blend in with the crowd. But I just felt like it was a little bit harder because I was the only black person in the class. And I don't like to make everything about race, but sometimes it can be a little uncomfortable when you're like one of the only black people. But anyways, and by the way, y'all, keep in mind, I was the new kid. I was the new freshman. I didn't know anybody. Most of these kids came from each other's grade schools. So that was another reason why I felt like I didn't really want to stay there anymore because I just felt like everybody had like a group. Everybody had a clique, and I was just all by myself. I didn't hang out with anybody who went to the school. I was hanging out with friends outside of the school. Anyways, so that was my freshman year. And my sophomore year, nothing bad really happened, except when I was body shamed by my substitute teacher. Now, I want to explain to you guys this because this is really messed up. So I'm going to give this guy a code name. We're going to call him Jeffrey. I don't know. I don't remember his real name, but we're going to call him Jeffrey for this story. So Jeffrey, oh wait, let me tell y'all what class it was. So it was a personal finance class because I don't know if I told y'all this, but around this time I was like bouncing on what I wanted to do in college, and I was trying to prepare myself for college because I wanted to be a businessman. I wanted to own the next Mall of America, but better. I think I said that before. So, and I also was still like juggling if I wanted to be a business owner or a judge. So I just took personal finance. So my teacher, we're going to call her Mary. That's not her real name. We're going to call her Mary. So Mary, the teacher, was rarely at the school. She was originally supposed to quit after my freshman year, but she decided to stay. But towards the end of the semester, like as the semester's going on, September, October, November, December, she was barely at school, bro. She literally would come and go every week. I'm not even exaggerating with y'all. She was never there. And she was taking care of her family, her mom and dad, because, my teacher, Mary, she was in her 50s. So I'm assuming her parents were probably in their 70s, 80s, and maybe even 90s. So, and this was around COVID too. So 2022, COVID was still fresh. We were still opening up, but we weren't really like comfortable yet. Some people were still wearing masks. So Mary was gone. She was gone majority of the year. She was barely there. And when she was there, she didn't really teach that well. But anyways, y'all don't care about that. Y'all want me to talk about Jeffrey, the sub. So Jeffrey, right? Jeffrey had substituted for my class before, but it was my geometry class. And it was crazy because I thought this dude was really chill. I thought he was a cool guy. He would crack jokes. He would be funny. And I thought he was a really nice guy. I didn't have a problem with him. He was a chill sub. But on this day, it just felt different. Okay, so let me give y'all context. So me and a friend, we both had geometry and we had lunch together, by the way. So me and my friend, we're gonna call her Lily. We're gonna call her Lily. So Lily and I, we would go to lunch, and we had the latest lunch, y'all. Our lunch wouldn't start till 1:10, and we would have to be out by 1:40. So Lily and I would go to lunch and we would sit together. Then we would go to our personal finance class, and then that would be the end of the day. After our personal finance class, we were done. We would go to our lockers and then go get our ride home. So Lily and I, on this particular day, and around this time when Mary wasn't showing up, we would always like tell each other who the sub is. We would be like, oh, or we would sometimes be like, is she going to be here today? And then we just got so used to her not being there, we'd be like, okay, who's the sub? So Lily and I, we go to the classroom and then we see the sub. And like I said, Lily and I had him before in geometry. So I'm thinking he's chill. I really like this guy. And class started at 1:45. And, we had afternoon prayer. So after afternoon prayer, we would start class. And this particular day, we were taking a test. So on this particular day, I was taking a test, and we had like these weird chairs that had wheels on them. It had a desk, and it had like a little circle thing where you could put your your books and stuff on. So he's telling us to turn our desk and tables. So imagine if this is the teacher and this is me. So this is me facing forward at the teacher, and my computer is like, I am using my computer. We're going to use the caddy. The caddy is the computer. So my computer is facing this way at my direction. So I had to turn around like this so he could see my screen. So he obviously wouldn't catch me cheating, even though I didn't cheat and I would fail and be able to redo all the tests. So I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden, you guys, he just started to just make rude comments about my body. He literally said something on the remarks of, if you fall down, there would be like an earthquake or an apocalypse. And then he would be like, oh, you take up this half of the classroom. And then like, as he's saying this, everybody's laughing. And so, well, not Lily. She wasn't laughing. She understood why I was embarrassed. But everybody in the class was laughing. And he was too. So I was like really embarrassed because y'all know that I was insecure about my body. And y'all know that I'm still kind of insecure. But I was really insecure about the way I looked around that time. And that was around the time I had quit football and I was gaining my weight back. So when he had said that, I was completely embarrassed. I was mortified. And I was so confused. And now let me tell you what he said after he had made those jokes. He said, oh, you're probably going to tell on me and I'm probably going to get fired now. Yeah, he said that. And I did tell on him, and he did. Well, after that, he didn't come back. And what's crazy about that is that I had found out somebody actually was going to report him for me. They didn't want to reveal themselves. I'm wishing that they did, because I don't know why they wouldn't want to reveal them to me, because I'm the victim in the situation. You should have told me. I wasn't going to tell anybody. But anyways, that was pretty much it sophomore year. Sophomore year wasn't really bad, in my opinion. I feel like sophomore year was like a shift, in my opinion. It got harder as a sophomore. So freshman year was like a breeze. All my classes, I had algebra, I had world history, I had computer science, I had English 9. I'm trying to think of all 7 of my classes. Spanish 1. I had, okay, so I said algebra, Spanish 1, English 9. What else did I have? World history. What's another class? I'm trying to think of, what is another class? Oh, biology. And then and my religion class. No, that's 6. Is that 6 classes? Anyways, those were my classes. So, but as I got older, my classes got really hard. Geometry, I struggled. Bro, I remember I got like a 2 out of 20 on one of my tests. I did so bad the beginning of my geometry, like the beginning of my sophomore year. I was terrible at that. And so that was the only thing I can say about sophomore year, is that it was a shift. And also, I was glad because I wasn't the youngest class anymore. We were the second youngest. And then junior year, I was depressed as heck my junior year, bro. I hated every minute of my junior year. And I already was scared about junior year because people were saying that junior year was your worst year. And I didn't know what to believe until I experienced it. But the thing about it is, guys, you would think it would be because of all the college and the SAT stuff. But it was my own, I would call them demons, my own demons that made my junior year suck. I was really depressed my junior year. I hated myself my junior year. And hating yourself is the worst thing you can do. I didn't take care of myself junior year. I did go to the gym. I did work a job. But I just still didn't like myself like that. I don't know why, but I just didn't really enjoy my own presence. I hated everything about me. I hated how I talked. I hate how I walk. I hate how much I talked. I hated my mindset. I just didn't like me at all. And it was so bad, guys. I literally was losing my motivation. And I just really hated junior year. But then in the summer of my senior year, the summer before I became a senior, I was doing YouTube again. And well, I started YouTube in April, which was a video that I made that got pretty good amount of views, talking about how I was 17 and had no friends while I was driving the Sonic. And then people were telling me that they hope I make friends, which is really nice. But anyways, so the summer of my senior year, I think it was probably a good summer because I was working out consistently and I felt like I was gaining my confidence back. Because I don't know if I said this. I don't remember exactly when I hit 299. But I said in my gym video that I hit 299. And this is around the time that this is around that time. I believe it was summer or fall. I don't remember exactly. But the summer last year was probably one of the best summers of my life. Because I was more confident. I liked what I was seeing. I was getting results. Still fluctuating, but getting results. But then I started to get like very constipated and my digestive system wasn't as good. I just started to have constipation problems and I was constantly constipated. So I had to fix that too. I remember I had gotten constipated so bad. I'm sorry this is TMI, but it literally hurt. It was hurting to go to the bathroom. So that was the only downfall of that summer. But overall, it was a good summer. And then my senior year came around. I was so excited for my senior year, you guys. I was excited because it's like I had seen everybody who I was friends with graduate. Class of 2022, class of 2023, class of 2024. And then now thinking it's my turn, I'm like, yes, let's go. Finally, it's my turn to shine. I'm graduating high school and I can't wait. And that was around the time I had made my decision to go to college. And y'all already know that story. I made a video about it. Y'all should go watch that video too. Anyways, so my first day, I don't really remember much because it was honestly a blur. I probably was just so excited about it. But I remember going home tired. Bro, I was so tired after my first day of school. I was drained. I don't know why, but my social battery was drained. My whole energy was drained. I was so tired my freshman year. It was crazy. And then around that time, I was hanging out with some friends and I was just making it a priority to hang out with them before I eventually before I eventually ran out of time, because I already knew I was going to go to, go to college, but I didn't commit there till the fall. So I was trying to hang out with them before I left for college, because they were juniors. They still had time before they could leave. And then, it lasted a good 2 months. And then around fall, I kind of noticed a shift. Like my little group of friends, we all kind of just started to split up and gradually just drift away from each other. And I don't know why, but I just was so used to just being treated wrong. I thought they were being fake. I did. I really did. But then when I realized that, this is a part of growing up. You're going to have friends who drift away. You're going to have people who you're not going to speak to as much as you did when you were younger or when you were in high school. Maybe because I was so scared of losing friends, guys. But I was losing them throughout my high school years. Like freshman year, I had a lot of people who I would consider friends. Sophomore year, I didn't. Junior year, I lost more friends. Senior year, I lost friends. So I was just trying to get used to losing them and not having as much energy in the friend relationship anymore. So I was just trying to get used to it before I just, you know, left and have some beef. And at the end of the day, that was the goal. I didn't want to have beef with anybody after my senior year because I was graduating, bro. There was no point. I was graduating. I'm probably never going to see these people again in my life. And I don't want to leave on a bad note. I want to leave on a good note. So that was fine. My senior year was probably the best year of my life, you know. It was sad because everybody who I went to school with for 4 years, they all graduated and we all are now starting college, trade school, our own lives. We're all drifting away and we're never going to see each other in one building, probably not till the, high school reunion, but that's not for another 10 years or 20 years or 30 years. Anyways, so my senior year, it was memorable. I would say I really enjoyed my senior year. Maybe a few hiccups here and there, but that's just a part of life. My senior year was genuinely enjoyable. Now, let me tell you about the last day of senior year. Guys, my last official day of senior year was so memorable, but yet so sad. So we had this thing called senior tailgate where all the seniors would meet outside. Y'all know what tailgating is. You tailgate where you're just hanging out before a football game. So that's what we had did. And it was at like 7:00 in the morning. I woke up at 6. I was tired. Anyways, I was really tired from that. And then there was some more senior events that I didn't go to, which I'm so mad about. And I remember getting a yearbook, but I never got it. I told my mom to get a yearbook. She bought it. I saw the transaction go through and everything. I still don't have that yearbook, which I need to talk to her about that. Anyways, so my senior year was memorable, and we all, was talking about things. I was talking with some of my school friends about things that happened throughout all 4 years of high school. And it was just like a very good time. And they had some donuts. They had all of that stuff. It was great. And then I remember we had like a senior mass and a breakfast, which really wasn't breakfast. It was just donuts and some orange juice. I don't know how the frick that's a breakfast. But anyways, May was probably like the most memorable, but yet the most saddest, because I was sad that I was leaving, but I was also excited because I was so done with high school. But I was sad to leave people that I had known for a while that were like my friends. And I'm going to go visit soon. But let me tell y'all, the last full week of school was memorable. That was the week where I just started to get all my work in. And my school had a rule where we only had to take finals if we didn't have an overall final semester grade of a B+ or above. And I only had to take one final, guys. One final. And it was the first final of the day. And so this was May 19th. This was my last official day. It was my last blue day of the year. Well, not of the year, ever. So I remember it was the last blue day. I was excited, sad. I was just in a mixture of feelings. And, I was studying for the final because I had to take the final the next day. And then it was my last flex/study hall. And I went to see my favorite teacher, who she attended my graduation party, which was great because, you know, she was my favorite. Anyways, so I just remember it being so memorable. And then I remember I had did a countdown. We were at my final class. My final class was called Coming of Age. We were just chilling. We went outside, and then I had my backpack with me, and then I was starting to count down. Oh no. Guys, my camera is overheating. Give me 1 sec. Sorry about that, guys. My camera overheated, and my camera's about to die. So anyways, what was I saying? I was just talking about my senior year and how memorable it was and how the last day was memorable. And I was just saying that on the last day, I had did a countdown. And the countdown was... Oh, let me turn this up. Sorry. There. Oh, no. There. The countdown I did for the final bell for us. And then the next day I had to take finals. And then, summer break and so on and so on. So I did learn a lot about high school. I made a video about it. But I just want to tell y'all that high school is going to be the year that you're going to find out a lot about how people genuinely feel about you. Because I did feel like I encountered some fake people who I felt like were not my friends and weren't genuinely there for me. Or I just felt like some fake vibes around people. And I'm glad that I was more closed off and I didn't say too much, because there would be rumors. I remember I had rumors of dating some girls, but I also had a rumor that I was gay. So it's like, take high school seriously when it comes to grades, but when it comes to the social aspect, yes, get involved and do clubs, but don't listen to rumors. Bro, I had so many rumors. Me dating this one girl, me dating this girl, but I was gay. You know how that does that make sense to y'all? I had a rumor that I was dating a girl, but those same people called me gay not too long ago. So it's like, am I gay or am I dating a girl? You didn't say bisexual. But anyways, my whole 4 years of high school, I did learn some things. I did have mental, problems with like depression. But would I ever go back to high school? No. And that brings us to our next topic. How do I feel about starting college? Well, probably by the time you see this, I'm moving into my dorm, or I've already moved into my dorm. But I can speak of right now. It's August 11th. I moved into my dorm the 21st. I feel very anxious but excited. I'm nervous to see how the school year will be. I'm excited to see I'm excited to have a new image of me out there, but I'm just anxious. I'm anxious about it all at the end of the day, and I can't wait to document it on my channel. So, yeah, that's how I feel. And now another topic that I really think I should discuss is growing up insecure. So, I don't know if I've ever told you guys this, but I did grow up very insecure. I was very insecure as a kid. I was insecure about the way I looked, insecure about the way I sounded. I hated my voice. And I was one of those kids who didn't develop a deeper voice until later on. I had a squeaky voice at 13, 14, 15 was when my voice started to change a little bit more. And you could tell there was a significant change. So was 16 and 17. But I just was so insecure about myself. And it was just hard to do things because I was just so scared of people's judgment. I was so freaking fixated on someone's opinion about me instead of really thinking about I don't know why I cared so much. I was just thinking about it so much and thinking about what makes me happy. Guys, when you grow up insecure, you shelter yourself from things, and you don't have to do that. You're going to find your people. And I didn't really expect that. I didn't really learn that at a young age. But you will find people who like you for you. Not everybody is going to like you. And that's what the real world is like. People are going to be envious of you, bro. They're going to be jealous of you. So don't care about what people say all the time. And especially being a YouTuber like myself, I get people who say all sorts of things about me. They say all these types of things about me. They talk about my looks. They talk about me being gay. They talk about me being annoying. I get those stuff all the time. But do I care? Am I going to quit YouTube over them? No, because that's letting them win. And don't let that happen. You're a good person. You're yourself because God created you the way you are. God didn't make any mistake creating you. He doesn't make mistakes. So don't forget that. Be yourself, and the people will come to you who fit your energy, who like the stuff as you do, love you for who you are. And I'm glad that I have people like that. So another thing that I put down was my ED, BED, if y'all know what that is. If you know, you know. And honestly, I'm going to give y'all like an update on that right now. So as of right now, it's gotten better. Y'all know I made a video about this too. I made a video talking about my BED. I can't say it on here because the last time I did, YouTube deleted my video. So I'm just going to say BED. Look it up. Y'all should know. So my BED has been getting a lot better. I've been eating in a calorie deficit. I have been not overeating. I haven't really been overeating, but I do slip up a few times. But it was really bad as a kid. And if y'all want to know the story, go watch my talking about it in addiction video. Now I want to also talk about self-confidence and why you need it. Guys, if you are confident in who you are, people can't tell you who you are. Remember that. Because when you are vulnerable, people use that as their advantage to get in your mind and say all sorts of things about you. So having self-confidence is key. You need to be confident in what you're doing. If you want a very, 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 very good tip on YouTube, have the self-confidence. Because people can see if you don't have the self-confidence or the self-confidence in achieving a YouTube goal. I'm not going to want to watch a YouTuber who's down and pessimistic about their YouTube channel. No, I'm going to want to watch somebody who's uplifting, someone who wants to do YouTube. And if you don't want to do YouTube, then don't do YouTube. Because being a YouTuber, you got to be very, very, very realistic, but also optimistic. Guys, you see the views on my videos, and y'all see how hard I work on my videos. But I'm self-confident that I'm going to get better. I have improved in all the 8 months I've been doing YouTube in my editing, how quicker I've been editing, and I actually take time into my videos. I do make mistakes, but I have the self-confidence that my videos are good. When I do a video, I'm confident that I like it. When I edit it, I'm confident that I like it. Now, there were times where I didn't like certain videos, but they did do well. And guys, if you want to be a YouTuber, you got to expect to flop sometimes. If you flop, you flop. Guys, I work hard on my videos. And do they get thousands of views? No. But I still do it because I know there are a lot of y'all out there who enjoy my videos. And if they flop, so what? That's the one thing you got to learn about being a YouTuber is learning how to cope with flopping. You're going to have a flop era. You're going to have a peak era. You're going to have a in-between era. Right now, I'm probably at my flopping era. I'm not peaking right now. I'm not growing as much, and that's fine. So that really leads on to my next topic, and it's my YouTube dreams and goals. So I have a lot of goals about YouTube. I obviously want to get better at filming. I obviously want to do meet and greets in the future. And I was just talking to my viewers on the live stream a couple of weeks ago about opening a P.O. box. And if you don't know what a P.O. box is, it's basically a place where you send off mail to somebody. Like the person, the recipient, I believe the recipient is the one who receives it. Let me see. Is that how is it recipient? Yeah. The recipient gives you the number and you ship the number based on that P.O. box number. Anyways, I was talking to my viewers about opening up a PO box, and I think I'm gonna do that in the future, so I can do like a PO box video. And I also want to do more vlogs on this channel because I feel like I always do sit down videos of me yapping to the camera, and I want my videos to be a lot more interesting than just me sitting on the camera looking at you guys and just saying blah, 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 just doing that all day. I don't want to do that all day. Y'all saw that I did a vlog on my graduation. Y'all saw that I did a gas station video, but I want to do more challenges that are fun. Like, I want to do maybe a challenge video where you guys control my day. Like, the goal of my YouTube channel is obviously to get myself out there and grow, but also to have a variety on my channel, not just be centered on one specific type of video. Because I'm not gonna lie, YouTubers like Sniper Wolf, YouTubers like who else? Gamer YouTubers, when the game is not peaking anymore, when the vlogging is not, when the not vlogging, when the reaction videos aren't peaking anymore, they fall off. And that's why a lot of your bigger YouTubers, they fell off because they're still doing the same form of content. And with me, I want my content to shift as I get bigger and bigger. So those are my goals. And even doing this sit down video, I want to do more of these. And if you like me yapping to the camera and it being raw and uncut, let me know. And I feel like I gave y'all a good story time. I feel like I did a good job on this video. But guys, I didn't put this on my list, but I want to tell y'all some tips on being a YouTuber. Because some of y'all be wanting to do YouTube and some of y'all don't be doing it right. I'm not going to lie. So anyways, a tip that I would give you is obviously don't expect every video to blow up. Some videos do significantly better than others. Y'all see my channel. My gas station video did better than my Omegle video in likes. My Omegle video, the first one that I did in May, has over 600 views, but 25 likes. My gas station video has, I think, about 300 views and 30 likes. So just don't be discouraged about flopping or not doing the best on the video you worked your butt on. Because I was talking to some of y'all, and some of y'all were like, it sucks because I work hard on my videos and they don't get as much views. But when I don't work hard on my videos, they get views. That is just the reality of it, man. You're going to have videos that you barely put your all in that do better. Because I can tell you, them Roblox videos, I didn't work as hard as I did on my confession video. But and it ended up getting more views. And another tip that I would give is have the right equipment. Guys, when I first did YouTube, I started off on my phone. I literally started off on my phone. Not this particular phone, but I started off on my phone. You can use this as your camera. The only reason why I wouldn't use this strictly is because you can run out of storage really quick and it's just not more efficient. Save up as much money as you can and get a vlog camera. Like me, I have a Sony ZV-E10. This was like almost $800. So, yeah. Another goal, I'm going to say this, is have fun with YouTube. Don't make it stressful on yourself. Show the camera your personality. Give people a reason to watch you. Have an intriguing title. You got to make your channel look watchable. You got to make it look like it's eye-dropping. You got to make it look very interesting. So if you want viewers, they'll come eventually, but work on gradually growing. Because a lot of people, they just upload YouTube shorts and then they blow up. And then they wonder why their videos don't get as much views because you're a one-hit wonder. You don't want to be a one-hit wonder. When you're a one-hit wonder, you're not going to pop off. You're going to only be remembered for one particular thing. No, you want to get multiple popular videos. You want to have multiple peak videos that help you do good on your career. You don't want to be a one-hit wonder. You don't want no songwriter or producer wants to produce an artist with a one-hit song. No NFL team wants to win once. So don't Don't rely on YouTube Shorts. I'm just telling you right now. It messes up your views if you're trying to do long form content. Upload Shorts to get yourself out there and go live too. But don't heavily rely on that because your views on your Shorts are going to be different than your views on your long form videos. And guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm talking a little fast because my camera's overheating again and my camera's about to die. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll probably do one soon, but talk to me in the comments. Did you like this video? Did you enjoy it? Let me know. And, yeah, I'll see you guys next Thursday. Bye, guys.